1, 0, and liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Mission Control. This is your host, Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands. And we've got an exciting Super Bowl 60 edition of Mission Control. We're going to go around the horn and introduce everybody. We've got Kaed Gonzalez, our interactive designer.
Right here. Got to be here.
Latino.
Puerto Riqueño, 100%. 100 by 35.
And we've got Maggie Kruse, our marketing associate.
Hi, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Not Puerto Rican.
Taking that crash course on all things Super Bowl since you were at Broadway yesterday.
Yeah, I was out all day yesterday, so I just did a little crash course.
You got a fresh take.
I have a fresh take on the commercials here.
Yes, it's going to be a great perspective. And of course, the right-hand man, Mr. Jorge Pezo-Candelario, our director of web development.
How's it going, y'all? Excited to discuss what we've got on deck for Super Bowl 60. Not maybe the greatest game in history, but I think a fantastic halftime show and some really impactful ads.
Yes, definitely. We're going to jump into the ads shortly. Definitely not the most exciting of games. It was, if it were a heavyweight boxing match, they were just playing defense and no haymakers were thrown, really.
Yeah.
They were trying, but, it was the very anti-football game.
Yeah. So. Apologies to those that aren't football fans that were expecting to see what's all the fuss about and just saw
not a good example.
Right. Quite boring. And New England, I mean, guys, you have a young QB, you'll be back. Shout out to Christian Gonzalez. I thought he was the MVP.
I would have given it to him.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of great defensive plays. But let's talk about this halftime show. Bad Bunny. I mean, I will be the first to admit that he's not on my regular rotation. I don't. Maybe I'm a little bit old for his music style. I'm more of like a Gran Combo fan than his remix. But I respect what he did with his platform. I loved the unifying message. And there are so many Easter eggs in there. Let's go around the horn. Just what your thoughts were on that halftime show.
No, for me, as a top 1% listener of Bad Bunny for the third year in a row on Spotify.
Wow. And your raps every year?
Yeah.
Wow. So data proven.
Yeah, data
Nice.
proven.
Nice.
For me, it was great. It was not only seeing the Latino culture represented, it was seeing the Puerto Rican culture represented. It was my language, my flag, things from my childhood that I saw, and we don't get to see that very often. Yeah. We get to see it in a very, mocking way, and to see it represented it showed that you don't have to change who you are to make it big. So it was great. It was high energy. He gave all the Latino the night off. He was like, just come to the house, have a good time. Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, Jessica Alba, everybody just hanging out at the porch, and then it did what it needed to do.
Definitely worth the rewatch as many times as needed. It's catch it on YouTube. So many Easter eggs, so many things you may have missed the first go around. Jorge, what did you think of it?
As the resident Puerto Rican, it just spoke to me. First, I love that he shouted out Peru too and all the other Latino nations. It was great. But it was just this, like Kaed was saying, this whole moment of that's me, that's us.
Yes.
In this moment that I just felt like this win. It was so cool to see. Also, just during the week, the energy of so many allies just being hyped for us. Like Puerto Rico's having its moment. Congrats, all. This is great. And it's funny because just recently I watched this whole history of the island and how we became, a commonwealth and so many things I had no idea about. And so for that part of that story to get told, in front of the biggest audience in the history of the Super Bowl was incredible. But they talked about El Apagón, the huge, after Hurricane Maria, you have all this,
which explains all the power lines and the jibaros climbing up and down the power lines, because it's in the Caribbean, third world countries, we can all relate losing power, whether it's Cuba, DR, Puerto Rico, which brings up a whole other thing. Is it's a commonwealth, right? These are American citizens, and they're still dealing with power outages, and so that was a reference to that, which I thought was super symbolic.
So it's historical, but it's also super nostalgic. The people, the wedding that was an actual wedding. Like,
Yes.
it's a family function. The little kid falling asleep. Like, the tios playing dominoes. Like, but the plastic chairs, everything was just super authentic. It just felt like I was just transported there for a moment.
They put the island on the
literally
gridiron, like it was on the fields.
They literally just plugged
The sugar
random
cane.
town and just plopped it in the middle.
Yeah, the casita, those little houses you see in the campo.
I was telling Kaed before, the only thing they miss, I just need the marquesina on the side, because that's like the carport, that becomes like
with the gates and
that's just iconic.
gated windows
you visit. But outside of that, I mean, no complaints. I loved it. It was great. It was great to be texting my mom and her like, my heart is racing. I'm so happy right now. It was just great. So to see this multi-generational like embracing of the moment. So
yeah, and the attention to detail, man, all the Easter eggs. They even, there was an article about the number he was wearing, right? Because even
64,
his 64 was the original like reported deaths on the island during 2017, but like the numbers were actually much higher, probably like between 3 to 4, maybe 5,000. Yeah, it was up there. I loved it. I thought it was, Puerto Ricans have this thing. It's almost like Chinese. When anybody sees like an Asian person, they're like, that guy's Chinese. It's the same thing with Latinos. If you see a Latino person, they'll say that guy's Puerto Rican. It's like, no, I'm from Dominican Republic or I'm from Colombia. So it has this everyman aspect to it, but it did bring that pride. I thought it was very symbolic to have Ricky Martin on there, because he went and, from Menudo fame, but then in his, adult career, he starts doing all these like crossover, like She Bangs and Living La Vida Loca. And to hear him sing, lo que pasó in Hawaii, like, don't let what happened in Hawaii happen in Puerto Rico, which is, I mean, you could really dissect. We can have a whole episode on this, because it's a commonwealth. It's you have folks that wanted to go all in and be a state. You have folks that wanted to retain his culture. He's singing it in Spanish. It's Ricky Martin, another legend. Like, the attention to detail in this. The little boy who got his Grammy is supposed to be Bad Bunny as a kid. So this whole message of believing in yourself, this whole message of unity.
I love too, though, in that I also took it symbolically as like, yes, that was Bad Bunny giving it to himself, like believe in yourself,
generation.
but that's all of us as
all
well.
of us.
You know, what
believe,
I mean?
right?
Like, believe in yourself, no matter who you are. Like, they're gonna tell you can't do it. They're gonna tell you it's impossible, but it's possible.
It's possible, and it's being who you wish was there for you. Like, a lot of us didn't have those role models growing up, or a child of the 70s and 80s. A lot of the images were of gang members and the undesirables, and we see what's going on right now. Without going too hard in the paint politically, the country was yearning. People were yearning for this message of unity, of pride. All the flags, all the countries. Americas are North, Central, South, Latin, unifying. I mean, it was a unifying message, and on that level, he hit a home run, and we so desperately needed a message of love like that.
Yeah, and to you, what you just said is like one of my favorite sayings is going from undesirable to undeniable, and after last night, you can't deny the impact that we have there.
Absolutely.
So,
All right,
100%.
so let's go into the ads. Kaed.
Which, before I get to the ads, I wonder if the halftime had any impact on how sponsors decided to put the spots in. Because I pretty sure saw an uptick of Elf, like the telenovela,
right.
like the sketches with Sofia Vergara. I'm like, I wonder what
They definitely knew that this was gonna draw a huge audience.
Yeah, but highlights for me, we talked about it offline, but it was like the potato farmers, the Lays.
Love that one.
That was just so well done, so well presented. Like, legacy, like breaking down what you think legacy is going to be, also highlighting the farmers, which are taking a big hit in this economy. So, absolutely.
And also a woman taking over.
The daughter.
As the next generation.
The next generation.
But also, it just hit on every level for me. First, brilliant of them to kind of tee this up during the season. They'd been showing little snippets of this during the games, and you kind of didn't really take it for its full face value until they revealed the whole thing. So brilliant on the Lay's marketing department. Kudos to them. But it hit for me on everything. Like you said, legacy is very everyman. As a dad, like, it just boom, like, hit me right in the feels. Like, I could not be more you know, I think about that constantly, like my daughters and like what I'm going to leave behind for them. Like, what do I pass on to them and the whole thing, and wanting them to have the agency to have, do whatever you want, like have, take that path. And the fact that, it's about leadership, like it was so many things. I just loved it.
Yeah, there was a lot of continuity. I think Bud Light did the same thing with the Peyton Manning and that whole. A lot of these were continuations. Like Ben Affleck and Duncan, and we all know that continuation builds that brand trust. And we definitely saw that. Any other ones, Kaed?
Of the fun ones, definitely the Budweiser with the baby bald eagle that you don't think is a bald eagle till the very end.
Yeah, people didn't talk about that one a lot, but I thought it was just so
it was
dope.
great.
That hit me in the feels too,
right?
For sure.
Like togetherness, like we're better. We make each other better. And you wouldn't think that a horse and an eagle, what do they have to gain from one another? But it was dope. Not only that, but they actually recorded it. If you look at like the tag, like it was recorded with like the Bald Eagle Association.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
wow.
So it's like they actually figured out how to get that shot with like the eagle coming up. They shot it for real, and it's special. We'll talk about this later.
It's kind of like their logo too on the can,
right?
With the
and
winged horse.
In this era of like AI and the fact that they took the work like to actually film it for real, it was dope.
Which brings me to the next point, like the AI companies, like some of them did great. Like we talked about the Codex one, which shows the evolution of learning to code, making things by hand, all that stuff, versus something that was kind of like, oh, you can do whatever you want and you don't need the expertise. But what's the case for it? Like, is it just a vanity project? Yeah. Right. Or is it something that you actually want that you just don't have the means to create yourself?
Right. I think it's interesting that AI is bringing about kind of like the democratization of all of these skills across the board, right? Whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're a game designer, you're a software engineer, you write copy, whatever it is, right? There's going to be now this ability for folks to have access to be able to put things together. But I think part of it is going to be, and what that commercial was about, is what is your vision? What's your purpose? Like, what impact are you making? And I think that's going to be the stickler from here going forward.
Yeah.
Jorge, what were some of your favorites?
So I had a bunch. I think that so interesting for me, and we didn't really talk about this much offline, but the State Farm commercial, I just thought it was entertaining.
With Bon Jovi at the end?
But with Bon Jovi.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
I like that one.
First of all, Bon Jovi is as cool now as he's ever been. Yeah. Like, he's just the man.
Now
like,
he just has silver. He's a silver fox now.
Yeah.
Like, good for him. It makes me wonder if, like, how long ago they had to, like, book this out. Because they had a bunch of pre-ads for this, too. Mm-hmm. But it also makes me wonder, did they just figure that Josh Allen was going to be in the Super Bowl in casting, like in casting the whole commercial? Like it is interesting to me, like if that would have been, if that was part of it.
And Key from Key and Peele, I mean, he's funny no matter what he does.
Hilarious. Like I said, they nailed like
the wig,
the whole bit. So it really I
like that one too.
It was well done. I think what's going to be interesting, like we talked about AI, is what is the purpose, right? What do you do with this power, or how can the everyday person make use of it? And I think the Google Gemini ad really did a lot for, not only was it like emotionally touching, but it just showed how this can help you in your everyday
Great
life.
examples.
In real time.
Use cases.
What's the real use case in real time, and how, what the difference that makes is. Now, granted, I think it also makes it so, I think that's part of like the play here, is that AI is so removing like the human element, and I think Google and all of these other companies, they had to really inject the human element into it purposely. That was part of like what they were looking to do.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mags, I know that you had a fresh take on some of these.
Yeah.
Which one stood out to you?
So I'm with Kaed on the Lay's commercial. That I think was definitely my favorite.
That was probably my favorite.
Yeah. But other ones, the Poppy commercial with Charlie XCX. As a big fan of her, I saw her in concert. I loved that one, and I'm a big fan of Poppy. And I think like that commercial really demonstrated like how drinking a bubbly beverage feels exciting. Like there's something about like a fun drink that girls just really like. And then also another one I enjoyed, my other pop princess, Sabrina Carpenter, and the Lay's the Pringles commercial.
You're making me feel real old now, by the way.
the pop girlies for like the girls in their 20s. So, as you said, not the targeted demographic.
Hyper-targeted,
Yeah, hyper-targeted. But I really enjoyed that. I thought that was funny in the way they constructed the Pringle man, and then at the end they all charged and knocked him over, and then she just ate one, and she's like, huh, he's fine as a snack too, not as a full course meal. But yeah, I enjoyed those. The Nerds one was okay.
Yeah. You know which one was fun that I was not expecting? The Levi's. I don't know if you guys saw that. Or
I didn't see that one.
It took
when
me
they kept showing the butts.
Yeah, but it's like all iconic moments. So it's
like the boss, Bruce Springsteen,
George Michael, Woody from Toy Story. It was like all these,
That's great.
Like
this is
I love
amazing.
that.
It was like just fun.
It took me a minute to figure out what it was for, and then it clicked, and it was like good on them because it grabbed your attention, but then it solidified. This is what we're about.
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew going in that anything that was a feel-good, positive, funny, all of those, I'm just yearning for it. It's been heavy. The last year and a half, it's been heavy, and so like I knew going in, like if there's anything that's about loving your neighbor, right? Like that spot, the Toyota spot was awesome with the neighbors helping each other. Anything positive, of course, the Lay's one was another favorite. Anything that was positive and funny was gonna win. I love the Melissa McCarthy one with Alf, just making fun at this whole thing where learning Spanish became all of a sudden so controversial. Like forget Epstein and all this stuff. You're gonna make me learn Spanish? I'm outraged. So that like poked fun at that in a fun way, especially when we make fun of ourselves and our culture with the novelas, which we're known for, the over drama, over dramatic scenes and everything. So that one was one of my favorites. There was a lot of this hyper targeted type, like if you missed it, like the Sabrina Carpenter, I didn't know who she was. I didn't know that she was looking for a man. None of that. And it wasn't until that screening that I realized, like, no, these ads are really, they're not going for like a general audience of brand awareness. They're going for like who buys this stuff. There was another one with the spray, like the body spray that smells like food, and that whole thing with where it was like a game show set, and they were gonna go after the production assistant, because I guess there's a thing where things look like cake. Like, is this a football or is it cake?
It's a whole show on Netflix.
It's a whole thing.
That's one of my favorite shows right now.
And
actually.
I like completely missed that like joke, and it's like, well, I don't really go. I'm not into the Axe spray or the body sprays that smell like pistachios or food or whatever. But there's a Target demo that is, and they knew about this whole cake phenomenon. So it's like the commercials were unapologetically targeted at their specific target audiences.
And I think that's such a win, especially in we've been talking.
Who's it for? Who are we for?
We've been talking about that with clients, right? The more specific you are, the better it is. Because when you say, oh, who's your target audience? Well, everybody who, like, guess what? That's gonna fall flat.
You can't be everything to everyone.
It's
you
impossible.
have to pick a lane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you pick a lane, then that's what brings it more. That's what brings more success in, and that can be from multiple ways, because you're probably not going to. You're either going to get the people who are on the fence and sell them, or you're going to get the people who get just more excited to be loyal to the brand. Right. The most popular thing that you can convert is going from like fans and followers. That's becomes like they're going to spread the word for you. Yeah. So making them feel more seen is one of those things that just continues to boost it.
Par for the course, sometimes we remember the message and don't remember the brand. That Good Neighbors one where the neighbors were helping each other, that was actually the Redfin Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
But great sentiment. Also, there was a lot of star power. Like if you saw the one that was like the homage to that also had continuity was the Silver Linings Playbook ones with Bradley Cooper and Matthew McConaughey.
Uber Eats.
With the Uber Eats. I thought that was hilarious because they were playing into like the whole conspiracy.
They've been building that for a couple of years. This was like the crescendo.
It's like you're gonna squash this, or we're gonna have a beef. And then he's like, squashes of food. It was just awesome. I love that one. The star power, like in the Dunkin' commercial, was hilarious.
And
a lot of CGI too.
Well, so much question about that. Is that like and we asked this, we talked about
Yeah.
this online. Is that anti-aging CG? Is that AI that's just generating those people? Some people look like it could actually be them, like Jaleel White. He just looks like that to me.
Yeah.
And
But-
so does Carlton.
Right,
Yeah, they haven't aged.
But then, like, Ted Danson looked like super AI
puppet,
in
yeah.
comparison. You know what I mean?
Jennifer Aniston looked straight out of Friends.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like they pulled her. They fed the AI model
And
a
it
bunch
could
of
have been
Yeah.
because she was like away, like distance and being then behind a window.
Tom
Like,
Brady still kind of looks like that. Basically,
He
it could have
could
just
be-
been
it could have
him
just been
with
him.
the wig. I'm not. You know what I mean?
It could have definitely totally just been him. But yeah, that was hilarious. You know, one of the Emma Stone, maybe I could have done without. I know that was directed, by her friend that did the Beautiful Things movie, which was strange. So the commercial was strange. T-Mobile, Backstreet Boys didn't really hit it for me.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people with the Coinbase commercial, depending
Yeah.
on the party you were at, though.
People were
It
saying.
was
People were
almost like
singing.
it was like karaoke, yeah.
Exactly,
It
like,
hooked you all the way to
It
the
hooked
end.
you, and then at the end, when it was like Coinbase, people were like, "Boo!" Like that whole moment.
It was like
but
bait and
how
switch.
hilarious because
It
that
takes you a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
it takes you a minute because you don't know what it's for, and it's kind of one of those universal bangers that was just been like on the radio. It was on the radio for forever, but it crosses a couple generations. Like even if you weren't in that generation, you've heard it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Enough time. So I thought that was interesting.
Which makes a point because, like, speaking to the hyper targeting of commercials, like,
Yeah.
I can imagine somebody seeing Sabrina Carpenter and then somebody older generation asking, "Oh, who's that?"
Right.
And then seeing the ones that were targeted for the millennials, and then somebody younger or somebody even
Yeah, like
older than
William
us.
Shatner. Like
Yeah.
William Shatner, like young people aren't gonna know who this old guy is. And then he was like Will Shat, and it was this whole bathroom humor, like Will Shat in the house.
Yeah, that would have went right over my head.
A bunch of bathroom humor, which I
Yeah.
guess is trying to
The
tie
talking
in
pubes.
like universal situations, like the liquid IV and
Yeah,
like
the
dehydration,
toilets. Yeah.
singing toilets. But I like when they can bring brevity to a more serious thing, right? Like
Right.
the whole tight ends commercial,
Loved it.
which was like. Just here, start with this blood test. Like so many things that like can keep yourself healthier, which
Because-
people have a hard time talking about.
Right, and that the thing, I don't want nobody to stick a finger up my butt and all this stuff. It's like, so guys stay away from that, and guess what? Then guys die. Like it's a serious matter, and now it's like, hey, you can do it with a blood test. Like relax, you don't have to clench your butt, which is usually the reaction when you're getting a physical. So it's a serious topic. I'm in my 50s. I've gotten 2 colonoscopies. It's super important. I loved how they took an audience of the majority. I bet you still majority men watch this. Although last night with Bad Bunny, it might have changed a bit. To take that opportunity to give a message like that in a funny way.
It's like normalizing it.
Normalizing, like, hey guys, it's just a blood test. So they're showing you the Band-Aid and all of that. Going back to the targeted, I love the House of Pain track. That's like but they were making it cool with the VWs because VWs is like kind of you could see them, you could see their target in the ad. Like making it like it's a cool car. But going back to these other ones, I mean, there was. The talking pubes, I think.
Manscaped.
Manscaped. My favorites again are going to be the ones that are tugging at the heartstrings,
Yeah.
positive. Like I am a champion.
That one I loved.
NFL
Yeah.
belief is a superpower.
right?
Yeah.
But it's so true. Just having,
Yes.
having that coach, having that mentor, having
Yeah.
just that person in your life that can, that you could talk so huge. There's things that go unheralded, like these unsung heroes.
Yeah.
I loved, and I don't think anybody mentioned this one, but I really love the Pokemon one. Like,
Oh, it's on my list.
oh, okay.
Pokemon 30. Yeah.
So as a
Wow.
millennial, Pokemon is like peak millennial.
Yeah.
Like that's just like what we grew up
Pikachu.
on. Literally.
1996.
So it becomes this
Pokemon
whole
2000.
it was everywhere, right? Like if
Yeah.
you did, and it still endures to this day. It's the most valuable IP in the world. Like it makes more than Marvel. It
Wow.
makes more than
I did not know that.
yeah, but it's not even close. Like Pokemon dominates every other Star Wars. Like you name it, Pokemon's more valuable.
Wow.
I didn't have Lady Gaga singing the Jigglypuff.
Right. Showing all these people and and then as an F1 fan, Charles Leclerc being in the commercial, I was like, that's my dude. Like it was so cool. And also speaking of, shout out to Cadillac doing the livery reveal. It was dope. I wish you guys the best of luck. The season starts soon, so there we go.
All right. Well, I mean, I think we kind of gone through them. Aiden Brody, I had him on here too for Funny the TurboTax, where he was all about drama. And just had a few other honorable mentions here. Clearly, I mentioned Bud Light trying to win their fans back. I mean, they had that very, very hetero, like macho, heavy-handed with the wedding, the couple rolling down the hill as getting married. After all the backlash they received, like with the transgender can and all that, so they're working hard to get their fans back. Very, very heavy-handed. Xfinity, Jurassic Park. How do you feel about that?
I like the idea was solid. The execution was not.
Felt flat.
They looked so
The
terrible.
thing is that
so
Xfinity
plastic.
is for not being reliable and
Right.
outages, and then they're gonna try to play the opposite with something that's so sacred, like the original Jurassic Park. And
It's crazy that the original CG in that movie was better than the CG of 2026.
Did you notice when he logged in, like the logo went to like an old logo on the screen?
Oh, no, I missed that entirely.
It's as if none of this would have happened had they had Xfinity.
No, it would have happened because of that.
Also gotta give shout out.
We are not sponsored by Xfinity, clearly.
Gotta give shout out to Dove for the women's in sports. Basically, like all this data driven of how like girls at a certain age drop off because body issues or because people tell them they can or that, and then they show with full statistics how that can be better for the future. So they've done a great campaign over the years, but like this one was on the
And lastly, I'll mention as we wrap up the Coke Pepsi Polar Bear one. I thought that was
I love any kind of like cultural touchstone where it's like that whole moment at the Coldplay concert was super viral, and then they took advantage of that moment, and I was just dying. Like it was hilarious. Like they nailed it.
Yeah, man. So, aside from the grim future depicted by some of the AI and the Ring cameras,
Goodness,
the surveillance,
Alexa Plus killing you,
Alexa trying to kill the guy in the pool, Chris Helmsworth. The future in some ways look bleak, but in other ways, look very positive. And the messaging in many of the commercials, and of course the halftime show, really sent a positive message of unity and love.
a new hope
that we can carry forward.
I think overall within the commercials and the halftime in the game, I think the big message is there is a lane for you.
Yes.
Whatever you are, whatever you think, whatever you believe in,
Absolutely.
there is a lane for you, so stick with it.
Absolutely. I love that. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Mission Control. Until next time, this is your host, Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands.